time to talk about Spider-Man 2. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get my hands on a PS5 yet. Because, number one, someone told me the PS5 Pro is probably coming out next year. So I was like, oh, do I bother? And then the PS5 Slim came out, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just get that. But there's no performance upgrades. So then I was like, oh. Anyway, long story short, we're talking about Spider-Man 2.
You're missing out, by the way.
I played So just really quickly, before you get into your Spider-Man 2, during kind of COVID had kind of been a year and a half or something, and it was the first time I managed to get to the UK for Christmas, right? I got COVID positive on the 24th of December, all right? This is a couple years ago now. And luckily, my brother had come down from where he lives to my mom's house, and he bought his PS5, and he had Spider-Man, the first one. And I remember just literally 100%ing that game in 5 days or 4 days. I actually might have been more 3 days that I actually 100%ed it. But and I really enjoyed it. So I am looking forward to Spider-Man 2. But Sadek, why don't you've completed it already? Platinum. So for the uninitiated, what do you mean by completed it in Platinum?
So completing it in Platinum is the PS trophy system. So that means when you get the Platinum trophy, that means you've done every possible thing that you can do with this game. Completed all the missions, got all the collectibles, completed the story, challenges, if any, you got it.
Wow.
So that happened, and I pretty much did that in a week.
No.
You had the time, bro.
Yeah. It's been a slow week at work. So.
Yeah. You were playing whilst you were at work, is that what you're saying?
I wish. So it's an amazing game, don't get me wrong. And let's keep it spoiler-free. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine. I don't think we need to go into the nitty-gritty of every single, mission or anything like that. But I mean, there's definitely things that, there's been gameplay trailers and stuff that we can talk about that sort of stuff. Because to be honest with you, that's all I know of it. I mean, I've listened to a couple of other, people talking about it, watched a couple of reviews, and yeah, I mean, it looks like a really cool game overall.
It's a solid game. Here's the thing, anything from PlayStation Studios, Insomniac, Naughty Dog, everyone, you know that it's a solid game. It's well polished. It's bug-free. It's a great experience overall. And I'm sure you experienced that in the first game. It was perfect. It's a 10 out of 10. Is Spider-Man 2 10 out of 10? I'm going to have to say no on that.
Oh.
Maybe 8.5. And I'll tell you why. Because it is polished. It is great to play. But if you'll compare it to the first one, and that's why I said it's complicated, you get out of it what you expect or how you walk into it.
Yeah.
If you're expecting your mind to be blown like Spider-Man 1, that's not gonna happen. Because for many reasons, really. Because what Insomniac did with Spider-Man 2 is that they made it more compact. It's a lot shorter than Spider-Man 1.
Okay.
If we're talking if you're going to go for the main story only, we're talking about 10 to 12 hours if you're going to speed through it. But that in of itself is not necessarily a bad thing, because one of my favorite critics, actually, Yadzi Croshaw, when he was reviewing Spider-Man 1, he said, it's a great game that has every other game ever created in it, because there were so many things. There was base building, the base clearing, there was collectibles, there was side missions, and Insomniac slimmed that down a lot.
Okay.
But in the process, you would feel that they left out a bit. Some of the characters were not as fleshed out as I would have liked. So you have two main antagonists. It's not spoiler. You've seen the trailers.
Yeah. You got Miles Morales up in there as well.
Exactly. You have Kraven, the hunter, and you have Venom. And I have to say, the Venom part is probably the best representation of Venom that you'll see outside of the comics.
Nice.
It's mind-blowing. But then you come to Kraven, I felt that unless you do a lot of other side missions, you don't really understand why he's there and why he's doing what he's doing.
So you actually play as Kraven, is what you're saying, sorry?
No.
No. Okay.
He's the main antagonist. He's the one you're fighting.
He's the bad guy. Okay.
But unless you really dig in there, you'll not get the full picture of what's happening.
See, because when they did their first kind of, big cinematic kind of trailer, he was at the forefront of that.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Let's see where that goes. But yeah, to be honest, after that first initial trailer where you saw him in the forest killing someone or whatever, I actually haven't heard of him again in anything Spider-Man 2 related. It's always been, there's Spider-Man and Miles Morales. Like, that's the main kind of thing that they've been kind of teasing and
exactly.
showing.
And then Venom was announced, and then everyone was mind blown. Venom is there for the first time in gaming for years.
Yeah.
And he's worth it. I'm telling you, the best representation of Venom in any media outside of comics.
Yeah.
But Craven suffered for it.
Oh.
That's what I would say.
Okay, so like story-wise. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, because I guess the main story of Spider-Man 2 is you and Miles are trying to defeat Craven.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. But you don't really know why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless you have to like really dig for it.
Unless you go platinum and
Shorty, what's the purpose?
Yeah, pretty much. And the second story of it, which is something that I felt that Insomniac intended and did for a great degree actually, is that this is more of a passing the torch moment from Peter Parker to Miles. And it's there, but not really. It exists. You can see hints of it, but you don't feel that at the end, which I'm not going to spoil, obviously, but at the end, you don't feel that this has taken place yet.
I get you.
The one thing that the game does brilliantly, though, and I'm sure this is intentional, is that they planted the seed for a Marvel gaming universe.
Oh. Yeah. So sorry, I was gonna touch on that because I was thinking about. Obviously, I watched like last month the new Miles Morales movie, which I always forget which one it's called now because they sound similar. Into the Spider-Verse. What was the first one then? Like it was
Across.
One of them is Across and one of them isn't.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's Across then. The first one was Into.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So yeah, I watched Across the Spider-Verse. By the way, one of the best movies I've ever watched.
Absolutely.
Ever. My wife, who usually is a bit like, I don't really want to watch that, she really liked it as well. So, that was good. Honestly, 10 out of 10, that movie. But then when I saw obviously Spider-Man 2 and it's got Miles Morales and Spider-Man, I thought, okay, well that kind of makes sense now because of the movie.
Yeah.
So it's I assume they've kind of planned all of that. And I've seen a lot of the, they leaked all the costumes before the release actually. And a lot of them were from Across the Spider-Verse, different Spider-Men and stuff, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, I'm interested to see how that develops. What do you think?
It's not just Spider Universe. It's I'm speaking the whole Marvel thing. There's a lot of Easter eggs in there that hint at other properties in Marvel. You'll have a Daredevil teaser that's already there.
I heard about Wolverine.
There's the Wolverine game that's coming from them that's probably going to be in the same universe as well.
They did say, like, they confirmed it a few days ago that it is the Wolverine game that's coming out is in the same universe.
Yep. So
that's pretty cool.
You can clearly see that Insomniac and Sony are trying to build something here. It's not just about this game. There's there are bigger things at play.
Makes sense. I'm looking forward to everything Spider-Man. I think, when I was younger, for some reason, like Superman was like the big superhero, right? Because they had actually had like a couple of those big movies with, I can't even remember the actor's name, but like a while ago. And I don't know if you've watched back those movies from like the 90s, those Superman
80s.
movies?
80s,
even 80s?
The first one, yeah.
And oh my goodness, it is so bad. Like the fighting is so...
They haven't
he's like
aged well.
Yeah, exactly. Not at all. Like he's doing his like breathing ice or whatever, and like it looks horrendous, right, when you look back to it. But yeah, I think nowadays Spider-Man has kind of become kind of one of the best superheroes out there. You know, obviously with Marvel in general, like you got probably your Iron Man fans, you got your Thor fans because they amazing big characters that they put in like a ton of movies. But for gaming and movies together, I think Spider-Man just takes the cake now. Especially that I think the only really good superhero games before was kind of like Batman Arkham stuff. Especially for like single player stuff. And I think with what Insomniac have been doing with Spider-Man has been fantastic. Great for the genre of superhero games. And yeah, absolutely just smashing it. One thing that I thought, because again, I haven't played Spider-Man 2 yet. When I played Spider-Man 1 for like 5 days straight, it does get a little bit repetitive, right? You're like, oh, there's another robbery and I've got to go stop that. Oh, there's another building that I've got to go clear. Not that I don't enjoy going and doing it, but I did think, oh, well, if I just play Spider-Man 2, is it just going to be a lot of the same?
That's the thing. Part of that's why I said the game is not shorter. It's a lot more slimmed down. They let go of most of the faff that was in Spider-Man 1, if you think about it. It's a lot slimmer than before, but as one contained experience, it's a great game.
Yeah.
If you liked Spider-Man 1, if you liked Miles Morales, you will definitely like this one.
Yeah.
But don't walk into it expecting your mind to be blown like it did with Spider-Man 1.
I get you. Viz, did you get a chance to play it?
I rage quit Spider-Man 1.
Really? Because of that?
No, it was the
Because
first.
of the
No,
repetitiveness?
it was actually the first mission where you had to chase the rhino. It was during training.
Yeah,
that you
in
had to-
Miles Morales.
in
that's in Miles Morales, yeah,
and
yeah,
there
yeah.
was one mission wherein you have to go through the building and chase the rhino, and I failed like 20 times.
the training mission.
The
You failed the
training.
And I was like,
tutorial.
you know what? I'm just gonna stop playing this game.
Yeah.
But I remember I was thinking about God of War Ragnarok, fighting the Valkyries. I was like,
Yeah.
it feels like that. Just doing that first mission, I'm like, I'm gonna quit. Never mind.
I mean, one thing I heard which was positive about it is the web swinging has never felt better. And you've obviously got the gliding as well, which helps you get around. A new way to kind of get around a bit. What do you think?
I have a controversial opinion about this.
Okay,
as well.
again, I haven't played it. This is just hearsay from me, yeah.
So the swinging is at its best. It's amazing. The gliders, I'm not a big fan of, and I'll tell you why. They work great. They feel great, but then they take away from the swinging. It's like I don't want, and of course people say just don't use it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you just not glide? Yeah.
Of course you can, but then you'll have an easier and faster way of getting to the next mission. So you know what? And that's the thing. Actually, at the beginning, I said no. I tried it. I was like, no, that's too easy. I'm gonna stick to the web swinging. But then towards the last third of the game, you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna take the easy way out and glide through it, which took away from the swinging experience. At least that's what I felt.
I get you. I did actually watch a video of a guy who went from one end to the map to the other.
That's a trophy.
Is it?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You have to do it?
And he basically said, which is faster, web swinging or gliding?
Yeah.
And he timed both of them from one map to the other side of the map, which one was quicker. And at the start, the gliding is quicker, but by the end of it, the web swinging actually took over and won. So I don't know if that... So I guess when you're going from like one bit to the next bit, it's just easier to just glide.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I guess long distance gliding is... Because you run out of steam, I guess.
Yeah, but there are these wind tunnels thing that if you go through, you'll gain more speed actually.
Ah, okay.
And that's one of the trophies. You have to go from the southmost point of the map to the northmost point using gliding only.
Without touching the floor?
Without touching the floor. Or web swinging. Or jumping.
What?
And you did... How long did it take?
3 tries.
3 tries? But I mean, how many minutes to go from one end to the other?
It's easy because there is a specific path that if you go through that has a lot of wind tunnels, you can actually make it.
So they help you kind of... Yeah. That makes sense.
Imagine if I did that, quitting Spider-Man 1.
Yeah, that trophy is not for you.
Yeah. No, definitely not. All right, well, I mean, overall impressions, you said it's complicated, but I mean, you still would, not a 10, but what, 9?
8.5.
8.5, okay, very cool.
If you loved Spider-Man 1,
Yeah.
you will love Spider-Man 2. Just don't walk in expecting mind-blowing experience.
So just lastly, I did hear that the game gets better as you go along. The last third of the game is amazing, but then apparently the last bit of the last third drops off a bit.
The last third of the game is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
This is the part where your mind would be blown. It has this one thing that you will do.
I really want you to tell me, but I don't want to spoil it. No, I get... Yeah. Okay.
But
do you think they did that deliberately? So everyone will go, the last third of the game's amazing, which means you've got to play it.
The lasting impression, it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, nice. So if you're going to buy Spider-Man 2, don't rage quit.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Get to the last third of the game because it's a masterpiece. It's an 8.5 from us here on the Daily Gamer podcast for today. Not from me, so if you have contradicting opinions, do let us know on our socials. We're at Daily Gamer Official. And Sadek, thank you so much for a very, very well-rounded review for us today.
Of course.